have to be patient. When you're being a content creator, you have to be patient. You have to realize that your audience will come and that the stats don't really matter. Welcome to the Burner Browns Collective Facts and Theory podcast show. This is the second year anniversary of the podcast. I am grateful to have you on this show. I'm grateful to have you come and listen to this show because this is a special episode, a very unique special episode where we're going to talk about how to become a content creator. Because for me, it has been a lot of experiences being a content creator. It has been a lot of things I have done, and I really want to give you a lot of skills to learn ever since I started the podcast. So what we're going to talk about on this episode is basically the segment of how to become it, and then after that we're going to talk about my story, and then we're going to move to the conclusion. So if you are a long time subscriber to the audio podcast or to the YouTube channel, you know basically how my story was. But if you're a new viewer, well, you're coming to get some good info, and you're also going to get a good story that can maybe motivate you to do better. Let's move on. So the first segment is that you have to be patient. When you're being a content creator, you have to be patient. You have to realize that your audience will come and that the stats don't really matter. Don't let the algorithm get you. When it comes to YouTube, when it comes to TikTok, when it comes to anything. And then, like I said, for audio podcast shows, there's no real algorithm. It's just you getting a growth. Because when you're working for Anchor or something, you're not really getting, algorithm. You're getting growth, real growth. Versus doing YouTube or TikTok and things, those are algorithms, robots. But when you're doing podcasts, it's really a real thing. Like, there's real things. And to be example, if you're wondering who I'm talking to, I'm talking to every content creator out here. Rather, if you want to start a podcast, you want to be a social media influencer, or if you want to do YouTube, everything takes growth and patience, and you don't need to realize, you don't need to be an expert, you don't need an algorithm, you need validation to really prove you right, which we'll get into that later in the comments. But yeah, making episodes, videos, whatever, do it. Be patient. Next one is you may experience fights and struggles. When I'm talking about fights and struggles, you may experience things such as family members maybe not agreeing with what you want to do, friends not wanting you to do what you do, some will doubt you, some will be bandwagon, some will agree, some won't agree. That's just part of life. That's how it is with your career. Some people will agree, some people won't agree. For the past few years of me podcasting, I have dealt with that, but now everyone in my household believes in me. Some people, like my grandparents and my mother and my father, this family may be a little bit bandwagonish with it, but overall, to get controversial, everybody believes in me. And even with you gotta believe in yourself. When you're experiencing struggle and stuff, you gotta live for yourself. And like I said on the last segment, you gotta be patient. You can't just worry about numbers and things. You gotta be patient. And also with patience comes dedication and strength. And you gotta realize that there may be criticism as you grow. And even if you're dealing with that, you can't get stressed out about it. Don't stress about not growing at the moment, because you can grow and be successful. There's some people who grow viral and went terrible the next minute. And there are some people who went viral and actually use that and actually build more momentum. So it depends on you, on what you really want to do. But don't let that stagnate or mess your brain up. Don't let people outside validations, anything mess you up. You do what you're very passionate about, because if this is something you love to enjoy doing, or this is something you're passionate about, then you need to go ahead and do it, or eventually grow. The next one is network with people in your niche. And it can be broad. It can be people who are in your niche and doing podcasts. There can be people who are in your niche doing YouTube. There can be people in your niche posting on Twitter. It doesn't matter the platform. It just matters about if you're doing the same niche as you. And then, like I said, whatever platform you're doing in, network with people in that platform you're doing in. If you're specifically like doing YouTube, network with people who are YouTubers, not just YouTubers who are doing the same content you're doing, but also YouTubers outside of. Like me, for example, I can network with Zachary Ford, another YouTuber you may know, but I also can network with Sharkmaster, who's a Mortal Kombat expert, or Future Boy, who's another Mortal Kombat YouTube content creator who gives you news and updates. Shout out to all them three. That's how you should do. And even with people in your niche, whatever platform, even if it's a different platform, whatever it is, turn that competitor into your companion. Realize that competitor can also be your friend. They're more of a full-time companion and a part-time competitor, because at the end of the day, you are taking inspiration from them to make content. Now, to be honest with you, that's the truth. Because now with things with trends, following the next step, taking inspiration for other people's content, you know that truly, you really taking inspiration on copying that person's content. The next one is try different things. If you haven't found out what your niche is yet, try different things. If you found your niche, well, you don't have to worry, you found that you're rooted and grounded in it. But if you don't know exactly what you're trying to do, then figure it out with patience, because that's what comes. Patience comes with you figuring out what to do. And also with figuring out what to do, the next segment is follow positive trends. Do it in the right way that fits your niche. You can follow the trends, but make sure you do it in a way that fits your niche. And make sure you're doing it in the right way. And for me, as a God-fearing person, I always make sure I do trends that are not against the will of your Jesus Christ. And for you, if you are a believer, you may know this as well. And the next one and final one is, before we move on to the story, is get inspired by other people's content. When you get inspired by other people's content, it really brings up joy and really brings up things to you. I'm not saying copy other people's content, but get inspired by it. Like for me, for example, I get inspired by a lot of people's content. Like for example, Jordan Green, Jose Zinko, the Julie Podcast, the No Job Podcast, the Purpose Pod, Gary Vee, Think Media. That's a lot. And also a bonus, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, my inspiration. Take inspiration not just from content creators, but also from people who are just doing things in the real world. Take examples like MLK, Black Panther, Steve Jobs. Take examples from these influential people, not just them, but also other influential people. Realize that when you get inspired, it brings motivation and inspiration for what you really want to do in your career. Let's move on to the story. Yeah, I don't really have my story scripted out because I was actually reading a telegram right here. But to be honest with you, my story started out as a content creator is by me realizing that I had to step up and take time doing this. So I have a whole email written about this, but I'll get to the point in a really story time way. So to keep you long, but not too long, is that all started by a friend named Jeremiah Patterson. I have his link to his podcast down below, audio and video. And he really inspired me to do podcasting, inspired me to do what is my content and my purpose that Lord has blessed me to do. First, when I talked in November 2019, I was like, what the heck is a podcast? He told me, podcast is something you do, the YouTube channel, but it's all audio basically. He showed me Anchor that he used. And in November 2019, I was like very confused, but also excited, but I also didn't know what I was doing. And I was worried about people and worried about him and other things because I was a little bit insecure at the time. As the months went by, January I made my own account. February, February I was still trying to figure out what should I do, what should I make. And I just kept delaying it. The Lord kept nudging me since November to do it. But I kept nudging it, then delaying it. But then when 2020 came in March, that after that last day we have left school, I started recording that whole weekend. And then that Sunday, I believe it was a Sunday 2020, March 21st, I started the podcast, published it. And ever since then, we are here where we're at now. And throughout the process, it has been hard, it has been easy, it has been ups and downs. But overall, I'm doing well. And I am a small creator, but in a way, the content I'm doing seems like it's for a creator who has 100,000. But for me, I have the mindset like that. That's what you have to realize, and that's a bonus inspiration to give you that. You have to have the mindset. Even when you start small, have the mindset. Now, when you're small, you may not think like that, but as you grow, you'll realize, yeah, Brendan was right. These other content creators was right. I have to really start small and get up there, and don't just think with a small mind. When I get big, think bigger as I'm growing. Even if I am not at my peak, still think big. And that's what you have to do. Think big, even when you're not at your peak. I'm not at my peak, but when it comes to content-wise, I am. Not growth-wise, but content-wise, I am at my peak. And soon I will lead to more growth. So realize that, and just realize that that's what happened. And also just to tell you, as I was along my journey to finish it off, around the summer of 2020, I was getting a lot of views, and everybody's in their house just. And so I used to make content that was just politics, Mortal Kombat, gaming news, basically anything that you know I was talking about, all topics. But then I realized I had to really reach down, because people always said, if you reach out, you're going to reach no one. And I was reaching a lot of people, but it didn't give me long form content because people stepped in and stepped out, and that wasn't working for me. So what I had to realize is, I looked at the Purpose Pod in August, found that through Instagram, talked to Alan Rice and met him. Ever since then, he inspired me to do self-improvement. Then I saw a marketing promotion for a No Job podcast. Found that out January when it premiered. And that inspired me to do self-promote because it talked about pursuing your passion and quitting the 9-to-5 jobs, which I'm very passionate about talking to. I love talking about leaving 9 to 5 and leaving college to pursue your career. Because you can still do that, but there's other options out there. I love talking about that. And around 2021, I was making stand-up self-improvement videos. Basically, if you check out my old video down below, YouTube channel, basically talked about self-improvement, but a stand-up way, like how stand-up comedy is. That's how it was, like a stand-up self-improvement talk where I was more serious. And then summer 2021, I was being nudged to start a video podcast. I didn't want to start it till the end of summer, early fall. I decided I will start a video podcast, and ever since then it led up to now. And from January to now, look where I'm at now. I have a video podcast and a normal podcast, so this is where we're at now. And grow. We'll stay here for a brief moment and grow as we continuously do. Not about the end. It's about just growing and getting results. Because I worked hard for this content I made. For 2 years now, I've been doing this, and now God is allowing me to grow and manifest great content that's actually good and excellent for me being a small creator. The stuff I do, the work ethic I do, seems like you will see 100,000 subscribers, but I'm only having a little bit. But it will grow because the content and the things I'm doing, the marketing I'm doing, will feel like it has 100,000. and will reach to 100,000 if you want the conclusion. Alright guys, so we're now at the conclusion. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you learned everything from this episode. Hopefully this celebration of 2 years really brought inspiration, motivation to you. And hopefully if you're a big fan who's a long time listener, especially if you know me personally, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you just got some great story time out of this, some great lessons out of this as well. So God bless you. If you want to celebrate the 2 years with me, just email me by clicking the website link, or just by voice messaging me on Anchor, or commenting on the YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.